Thank you. Aren't you kind? Thank you so much. Wow, that's a Michigan welcome. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, thank you. Chuck Yob, thank you. Great friends here in Michigan. Boy, it is coming home, I'll tell you. This is where I was born and raised, and everything seems just right in Michigan. You know, it's just the right color of green, and it's sometimes a little cloudy in the afternoon in the summertime, and I just love coming back home to Michigan and being with you, and I feel your warmth and your enthusiasm. This is an important year for us, I'll tell you. This a lot depends on what's going to happen in Michigan. I'm convinced that Michigan is going to be the state that selects the next president of the United States, and you're going to be critical. These Great Lakes states, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, these states are going to have, maybe not Illinois, but these states are going to have a big impact. And we're going to have to go to work from this headquarters for the Great Lakes to make sure that Senator McCain is the next president of the United States. Now, I know you'd hoped that he would be here today. You didn't get what you wished for. But I'm here anyway, and I want to thank you for being here and being willing to support his effort. I'll tell you, I had the chance to get to know him a little better the other day. I was invited, as you may have seen, to go to his ranch in Sedona, Arizona. I expected that it was going to be like a desert, you know, with cactus and sagebrush, but he actually lives down in a little valley next to a creek, and 150 years ago or so, they irrigated that about 40-acre area. There's several homes there. And he doesn't own all of them. There's several other homes there. And big trees and green. It's just as lush as could be. It felt like, frankly, being here a bit, yeah, like Michigan a bit. And lovely place. I wondered, what was John McCain going to do when I showed up? You know, Ann and I drove up in their white Mustang, and he came running up to the car and said, there's a new bird down by the creek. Come on, let me show you. So he took us down there, and there are a whole group of these swallows. He said, we've never seen these birds here before. He said Audubon Society came in here and found 57 different varieties of birds in this little area, but now we found a 58th. Now, I didn't realize John McCain was such a bird nut, but he does know his birds. And then after we had dinner, he's a master barbecuer. That's something else I learned. 2 big barbecues. He did all the barbecuing. We had a lot of fowl, a lot of chickens. He was teaching me how to grill chicken properly, and we ate actually so much fowl that after the end of our weekend, the 58 varieties of birds, I think we're down to about 49. But he is a man who knows how to categorize birds and how to shoot birds and how to cook them. And he's a man who I think knows something about our nation as well. And right now, with the critical nature of what's going on in America, we have to have a leader who's been tested and proven. The presidency is not the place for an internship. It's not the place for someone who's never had experience. And I think because he's been tested, because he's been in Washington during some down cycles before and has seen what it takes to get the economy going, because he's been not only in Washington but around the world seeing the conflicts that sometimes break out. He understands foreign policy. You see the impact of experience in his positions, and you see the effect of lack of experience in Barack Obama's positions. And that's, of course, immediately was seen in foreign policy. When Barack Obama said that he would, in his first year, without condition, he'd meet with the world's worst actors. That's Jimmy Carter-esque kind of, hopefully all the bad guys will be real nice if we just sit down and talk with them. And then, of course, it was Barack Obama who said, we're not going to fund the surge. It won't work, he said. He said he'd pull our troops out immediately. Well, thank heavens he was not president, because the surge did work. And John McCain was right that the surge would work. John McCain is right to say in his first year he'll be meeting with our friends and our allies, strengthening our resolve to combat the forces of terror in the world. Both men have committed that, John McCain's goal is to have our troops home at the end of his first term. But the difference between Barack Obama and John McCain is that when John McCain gets our troops home, they'll be home because we won. For Michiganders, the big issue is the economy, because you've seen what happens if there's not somebody minding the economy, who was it? So was it Chuck Senator, or was it this Saul the News, this guy here, big fella here, who said that if you like if you like Jennifer Granholm running your state, you'd love Barack Obama running your nation. You see, Barack Obama has laid out his economic plan. And his economic plan says we're going to raise taxes on corporations, we're going to raise Social Security taxes, we're going to raise income tax, we're going to raise capital gains taxes. He was asked by an interviewer. The interviewer said, "Are you going to do these things right away?" Now think about this. This is a plan trying to get our economy going. He said, "No, I'm not going to put these in place right away. I have to wait for the economy to be stronger." All right? That tells you something about his economic thinking. He wants, of course, to restrict trade. I want to make sure trade is fair. We all want to make sure trade is fair, but we like trade because we sell products around the world. Barack Obama is also somebody who's been talking about energy, and we all agree, of course, we want to use the renewable sources of energy. But he's opposed to nuclear power, and he's opposed to additional drilling for oil and gas. And he wants to put a new tax on coal and natural gas. Those are two of our major energy resources. John McCain has a very different plan when it comes to the economy. His plan is to keep taxes down and to help middle-income families by lowering taxes on middle-income Americans. His plan is to get us energy independent with nuclear power and more drilling and coal and natural gas and, of course, wind and solar and renewable resources. And his plan is also to protect the right of the worker to the secret ballot. You may not be familiar with this, but right now, if a particular union wants to come organize in your factory or in your shop, they can come in and they get 50% of the people to sign a ballot saying they want to have an election. Then an election is held, and the worker has the right to a secret ballot. It's an American thing, a secret ballot vote. But Barack Obama says, no, let's take away the secret ballot. Let's say that the election is held where people write down their name on a piece of paper and we get to know who voted how, and we can collect those votes. Talk about opening the doorway to intimidation. That is not something that is as American as the kind of democracy we're built upon. And so I'm convinced that John McCain will protect the right of the secret ballot. John McCain will keep our taxes down. John McCain will make sure that we become energy independent. And John McCain will fight for every good job. John McCain is the leader we need to strengthen the American economy. Who've endured a one-state recession long enough are going to say, you know what? We're not going to elect somebody who's just charming and a good speaker. We've tried that in our governor's slot. We're going to elect somebody. We're going to elect somebody who may not be quite as tall and good-looking or quite as young, but somebody who's experienced, someone who's been there, who knows how the economy works, somebody who will fight for every good job. We're going to select somebody who's been on the battlefield of life and the battlefields of the earth. We're going to select somebody with the experience and capability, the proven leadership of John McCain. John McCain, thanks to the people in Michigan and Ohio and Indiana and Illinois and Wisconsin and Minnesota, John McCain, thanks to you, is going to be the next president of the United States. You know, there's one other thing I wanted to do, and I always forget the things I want to do, and that is I want to put in a word for somebody who I think enormously of and you care about deeply, and that's Congressman Joe Nolenberg. Hey! Right here in this district. Hey, Sandy, how are you? This is a man who has also experience and clout in Washington to make a difference for the people of this district and the people of this state. You need somebody who really understands Michigan and its economy and its needs. And Joe Nolenberg needs our support, our Republican support in Oakland County and throughout the state to make sure that he keeps that seat and that Michigan gets the benefit of somebody with his experience and his clout and his tenure in Washington. So let's fight for Joe as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you, everybody. We got phone calls, we got stickers, we got lots of work to do. Say hi to everybody.